In the days of my youth, I was told what it means to be a man. Now I've reached that age, I've tried to do all those things the best I can. No matter how I try, I find my way into the same old jam. Good times, bad times, you know I've had my share. I'm not going to do the whole song. That is the first song in the catalog of one of the greatest rock bands in history, Led Zeppelin. And that's what tonight's show is about, Led Zeppelin. No. There comes a point in every guy's life when he becomes a man. He may not be aware of it. It may not happen all in one day, but it happens. It just happens. But what if it doesn't? The weird thing is I had been an adult for quite a while. I think adulthood is different because there are lines, right? I mean, at 18, you can vote. At 21, you can drink legally. And so it's more defined. Manhood isn't exactly like that. I think the problem is the word guy. Guy has no female equivalent in pop culture. I mean, there's gal, but nobody under the age of 110 uses that word in the singular. And GQ and Esquire and Men's Health and Maxim and Playboy, so I hear, have all examined the superficial differences in the aspects of men and guys. Men wear suits, guys wear hoodies. Men have careers, guys have jobs. Men have mistresses, guys have booty calls. So there are differences. I have a podcast, you should check it out. And I've interviewed 127 people on this podcast, and I've asked them largely the same litany of questions. And probably my favorite one is, what defines manhood in modern society? Through my research, I have learned that men are big, have large appetites, and protect others. I'm not like that. I'm small. I eat less than my dates. And still a little afraid of being abducted. Now, I know men struggle with this, but I don't think most men in this room walk around with a fear of abduction. I told a friend of mine that I was going to do a one-man show, and he goes, "Who's going to play the man?" Furthermore, Indian men in society have been totally emasculated. If you look at all the roles we have in TV and on film, thanks Hollywood, not one contains an ounce of sexuality. That is very true, okay? So it's very, very different. And my struggle with girls was vastly different from all other aspects of my life. I mean, I had done man things. I bought a house. I owned a cool car. I worked a career, not just a job. I was cheap, but I treated people to dinner every now and then. I had the fortitude, the emotional fortitude to deal with life, families, commitments, deadlines. But if I was crushing on a girl, my entire day depended on her phone call. And if I told her I liked her, and she said, "I just don't see you that way." I know. Comedy, yeah. So how did I become an adult and not a man? I suppose it all started with Kelly. She was white. She probably still is, I just haven't seen her. I was 5 years old, and she was 4, and I really like 4-year-olds, which is okay to say when you're 5. We started dating at the same daycare that we went to. The great thing about dating at a daycare is we were, not now, I mean then. That's like the old joke. What's a good thing about pedophiles? They drive slowly in school zones. Okay. Screw you. That's funny. There were two important moments with Kelly that I can think of. One was we were all sitting around on the carpet. Relax. I'm becoming a 5-year-old. Okay. Everyone, just chill out. Much more interesting crowd than last night, let me tell you. It's not that kind of show either. Relax. There were two things that happened with Kelly, and this has nothing to do with it. It was we were sitting on the carpet as part of a story circle, and we were listening to somebody tell a story, and I was sitting up against my arm, and my hand was balled up as a fist underneath me, because even then, and somewhat ironically, I hated sitting Indian style. And Kelly was sitting right next to me, and she wanted to get very close to me. So she took my hand and put it around her shoulder, and she got in very, very close. And we were sitting there. And then suddenly, the powers that be manifested in the afternoon supervisor, Debbie, uttered her catchphrase, "That's enough." And I wasn't really sure what "that's enough" meant. Should we cut it out, or did we fulfill some daily quota of toddlers having their arms around each other? I don't know. I think she meant the former. The second thing that happened with Kelly that was probably even more significant, we were out at recess, and, well, daycare was basically recess, but we were outside, or at school, was learning trigonometry. Now, we were outside. There was a gravel playground, and behind it was this huge sandbox that ran the length of the playground, and in front of it were 4 gigantic mounted tires. And each one was sort of its standalone plaything. They were pretty far apart, and 2 kids could fit inside each tire. I probably still could, but that's not the point. So I'm sitting in there with Kelly, and we wanted our privacy. So we rolled these 2 big blue plastic barrels up against the tire, and we were flanked by these barrels inside this tire. And what a world it was. It was like only the 2 of us existed. And it was at that moment that Kelly told me to kiss her. And I really, really wanted to. But I looked outside, and under the arc of the tire and above the arc of the barrel and 50 feet away, I saw Debbie, and I was terrified that she could see us. And so I froze, and I couldn't kiss her. And she really wanted me to, and I just couldn't do it, and we broke up. After that, we became just friends. But I always wondered what would have happened, had I, at the age of 5, taken the plunge and kissed Kelly. If I would have pulled a Sheryl Sandberg and leaned in. I think maybe I would have avoided the friend zone for so many years. And maybe I would have gotten my first kiss before I was 23. When was your first kiss? I mean, really, first kiss? I love her hands in her hand. Like, her hands in her hand. Like, oh my gosh. Paid money to see this guy. That's why I can do the show. I mean, really. So raison d'etre. Okay. When was your first kiss? 13, 14? Someone in the back row. I can't see you. I can't see the back, so I am talking to you as well. 8, 11, 12. I don't know who wins. Like the lowest. 4? Big pimpin' over here. 4 years old. You took Kelly from me. That's what happened. The thing is, nobody's story feels normal, but I can tell you mine obviously is not. Do you know how many conversations I just could not be a part of as a kid? I mean, I was an extrovert. I've always been an extrovert, so I had something to say about absolutely everything, except when the topic would turn to girls. I would just be noticeably quiet. The game that I hated more than any other was I Never. Or I've never, or never have I ever, or whatever it's called in different parts of the world. The point is that game sucked for me. Because never had I ever done anything. I'm not saying I didn't try for a first kiss. In 3rd grade, I became funny. I had a funny friend in class, and my funny uncle from Australia visited us, and I envied the way that they made girls laugh. And between the 2 of them, I discovered my own sense of humor. And in class, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I discovered my own sense of humor. And in class, I developed my alternating impressive answer, sarcastic comment routine, which ensured I would be both teacher's pet and pet peeve. But it was mainly designed to catch the attention of a specific girl named Jane. And when I was awarded my perfect attendance certificate from 2nd grade through 12th, Jane really should have been granted half credit, because I showed up every single day to try to get her attention. But humor is a slightly better aphrodisiac than attendance, so I worked it, much to my teacher's chagrin. my report cards would often read, "Rajiv needs to settle down." I was already getting marital advice. It was great. Things didn't really pick up until one day in 7th grade when Q102, the coolest radio station in town, decided to broadcast from outside of our middle school. And this was also Shorts Day. Our district in Fairfield, Ohio, had a very strict no shorts policy. And girls started wearing these things called skirts. I don't know if you remember skirts, but they were a combination of shorts and skirts. And the rule up until this point in time is that girls' skirts had to be fingertip in length, which made it sound like they had to be a ½ an inch long. How long are your fingertips? That would have been great. The administration was understandably upset, but I actually heard boys complaining, and they were saying, "This isn't fair." Like, what isn't fair? We get to look at girls' legs all day long? This is awesome. I was all for there being no restrictions for the girls. I could do without seeing guys' legs. I mean, this would be like us going into a strip club and be like, "Hey, we should take off our clothes too." Like, what? So this was Shorts Day, and the temperature was in the 50s. And I had my own very strict policy of it needing to be 60 degrees before I would wear shorts. I was a delightful child. So I wanted to wear shorts, but I needed to wear pants. So, what better solution than to wear shorts on top of my pants? I gotta bring you to every show. I'm not really sure why my parents didn't stop me, but off to school I went. We all got to go outside that day and listen to Q102 play music, and they asked if anybody wanted to do karaoke. Asians, keep your seats. We're not doing And, since I looked decidedly unique, kids shoved me forward and handed me the microphone, and I was terrified. I had a very strict policy of not singing or dancing in front of anybody. I played the viola in the dorchestra for years. Primarily because I did not want to be in chorus. I didn't want to sing in front of anybody. And it's weird because my family had always been into music. My dad, specifically, and mom, actually, both have been into American music ever since they got here. And my dad used to make these very cool American mixtapes. He would blast that song, Juicy by Entombed. Yes, the same one that Biggie Smalls would later sample. My dad was cool, man. It was crazy. And one night in 1983, he brought home Thriller. And between that album and MTV, I taught myself every single MJ move there was. I was so good, I could moonwalk on top of that ledge of the sandbox at my daycare. Kelly still didn't go for it, whatever, that's not the point of the story. But my parents entered me into a talent competition at a Diwali function. Diwali is the Indian Christmas, and it is now. Happy Diwali, everybody. Got more applause than God. Okay, I'll take it. So no, they entered me into this competition, and I was all ready to do it. And then I looked down at the program, and it read Rajiv Satyal breakdancing, and I freaked out. I mean, not like the Lashik song. I panicked. I went completely crazy, and I grabbed your disco. Very good. We're not that far from West Hollywood. I grabbed my mommy, and I was like, "But mommy, I don't breakdance though. I don't breakdance." And I was really flipping out. My mom tries to calm me down. She tries to explain to me the program is just written that way. I should just do my usual moves, but I couldn't do it. And the PA system called Rajiv to the stage, and the stage stood empty. And I was never going to dance again, like George Michael. So there I was, Shorts Day, Q102 Day, the mic in my hand. I've got the opportunity of a lifetime. I mean, this is Q102, the pop station in our town with the DJ we all listen to after school, and I was about to go down in the annals of Cincinnati audio history. So I hold on to that mic and I dedicate a song to Jane. I chose We Didn't Start the Fire by Billy Joel. Because of course this nerd knew all of the words. Harry Truman, Doris Day, Red, China, Johnny Ray, South Pacific, Walter Whistle, Joe DiMaggio. And I went crazy and I danced around, I threw in my MJ moves, I even topped it off by rapping Wild Thing by Tone Loc. I mean, that voice went absolutely crazy, dude. Everybody was applauding, and Jane, dude, finally, Jane, man, Jane was totally unaffected by it. And that's that. Yeah. That incident did put me on the map, though. It boosted my social capital. Hey, it's the funny Indian Rajiv Satyal. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content.